Welcome everybody, I'm Alexander Linz, head of content of WatchAdvisor.com, the largest search engine for wristwatches and official retailers on the net. And with me is Stefan Loges. He is responsible for communication and marketing at MeisterSinger.
Welcome to MeisterSinger.
Stefan, welcome. You're doing something particular because you are selling watches that only have one hand.
That's true. Single hand.
Single hand.
And we got rid of the minute hand, so we have just one single hand.
Don't you have the money to put the second one or not?
No, we have. It's a different way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, explain me the idea behind to have watches with one hand.
Yeah. Well, single hand watches are deeply rooted in the watchmaking era. So, for example, the sundial is the first single hand watch. Then the first hour clocks were single-hand watches until the 18th century. Then we had, for example, the first pocket watches were single-hand watches like the Peter Hähnlein, famous German watchmaker. So we are deeply rooted in that sort of watchmaking. And then we came up at 2001, our founder and also still our designer, Manfred Brasler, with the first single-hand watch we did at MeisterSinger. So it's a tradition already to have single-hand watches, far coming from sundials, clock watches and so forth. And now we are doing it for wristwatches.
I will hold your single-hand masterpiece.
Yes, thank you.
Into the camera, and you explain to the audience, please, how you read the time from such a dial.
It's quite easy. So you just have a look. So what's the time currently? It's 5:30. So between 5 and 6, it's 1 hour. So you have, when it's just in between half an hour, then you have the quarter of an hour, and then you have 5 minute strokes. So you can read the time almost up to 5 minutes precisely. So that's quite easy. You just get rid of the minute hand, and then you can read the watch quite nice. It takes about 5 to 4 days to get accustomed to it.
And I think it's more than enough, honestly speaking.
Oh, yeah, of
because
course.
If we talk about where we have to be, if we have to be in a meeting, 5 minutes it's not. Yeah, maybe in Switzerland with trains it could be difficult because you know those trains always leave in time.
That's true, or in Japan probably.
Or in Japan, that's
so it's either a quarter past or half past or whatsoever, or 20 past. You wouldn't say it's 18 past 5 or something. So, and it's a more relaxed perception of time if you really have a single hand watch. It's a different way to look at the time. And
it's of course mechanical. I would turn the watch around for you so you see it's purely mechanical. There are no miracles, no batteries, no electronics behind. It's purely mechanical, but as I say. So then you can of course do some interpretations, and this is why we are here. Your latest, I think this is the novelty of this year.
Yes, the Novelties for Baselworld.
Is a watch with a moon phase.
Yeah.
So
quite a big one.
Yeah. I think it's appropriate to show the moon in this way. It's also big when you look in the sky.
Yeah. And you know, we thought we would like to show that although we are doing single-hand watches, we are not restricted regarding our assortment. So we can do all sorts of complications, moon phase, we have a GMT watch, we have regulator and that sort of stuff. So you're not restricted when you're doing single-hand watches. And in this case, we did a big moon phase at 12 o'clock.
Come back with the moon phase.
Yeah. And it's an ETA 2836, but we improved the gear train. So it's precise on 128 years. After 128 years, you have to correct it by 1 day. And it's, from my point of view, reasonable price. It's 2,990 euros.
That sounds pretty interesting.
And with this blue one, it looks as if the moon is on the dial as a sky. So I think quite a pretty idea for a single-hand watch.
And the moon is also looking pretty as it is in
realistic. It's a photorealistic one.
That's what I wanted to say. Because there are so many moons, right? There's some are smiling, and we have so many interpretations of how to indicate the moon phase.
Yeah.
And so here, really look on the moon.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Interesting also, and I want to show this as the next piece, is why don't bring the entire thing to these regular pieces are waterproof to, let's say, 30-50 meters?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so
30-50 meters.
And this one is taking some trends. It has a NATO strap.
Yes. First for MeisterSinger.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still stays a MeisterSinger because I only see one hand.
That's true. Yeah.
But the speciality is that the watch is
20 bar waterproof.
So it's 200
meters. Yeah.
So it's really the first absolutely sport watch I think you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. And we did an entirely new case. Looks a little bit like the 70s. We wanted to have something more sporty, more for leisure time, and we wanted to have something with a reasonable price in the entry level to address younger target groups. It's 1,490 euros and something which is really sort of a robust companion for everyday life.
But still, the young kids will have, or the younger generation, I say kids, the younger generation will have to adopt, and they will have to say, okay,
well, that they will have, yeah.
They will have to learn, but they have better eyes than we have, so they will be very comfortable with the smaller size, I think.
But for example, when you learn kids how to read the watch, it's more difficult with two hands than with one hand.
You have you have some feedback?
Yeah, I have feedback from my niece. She's 8 years old, and it was easier for her to learn it with one hand than for two hands. Because between 8 and 9, it's 8:30.
That's true.
And that's what it's all about.
And last but not least, there's one piece here on the tray. Please present me. I present. It's kind of a vintage piece.
It is one.
No, it is not vintage, of course, but it looks like vintage.
Yeah, it's our best-selling products, ordinary automatic watch, and this is one with the DLC, black matte DLC coating, and the color of the digits we thought should look like old radium. You need it for luminescence, you know, and that is the idea behind it, to make it vintage regarding the color of the digits and the color of the hand, and also have that matte black finishing for the case, and of course with a vintage strap to have that vintage look on our best-selling product.
Yeah, and of course mechanical. No cheating here.
As usual.
It's purely mechanical.
As we do it by MeisterSinger.
No, it's purely mechanical. And this goes for
1,790.
I think it's pretty affordable for such a watch. It's unique. So if you guys are interested in something that's not done so often, a little bit unique, and you can adopt to read the time with one hand.
3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days,
yeah.
How big is the collection of? Because outside on your booth there is a big window. How big is your entire collection?
We have all in all 70 references in 15 lines.
Okay.
Yeah. So from all different sorts of complications, different sizes, different directions regarding design and so forth, but all single hand and mechanical.
Great. Stefan, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, it was interesting to see such a timepiece. I could adopt pretty easy, because sometimes I'm always late, as in Basel. You're running behind time, and it would make no difference if I would read the time from such a watch or from one with two hands. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like our videos, and this is the way you could read time.